Have you ever finished a meal and suddenly felt sleepy, heavy, or strangely hungry again just an hour later, even though you just ate? Most people think this is normal, but what if I told you that this feeling is often caused by a spike in your blood sugar and insulin? And the real problem is not what you ate, but what you do right after eating. There are 3 simple things you can do after every meal that can dramatically flatten glucose spikes, control insulin levels, reduce fat storage, and even help prevent diabetes. And the surprising part is that none of these require medicine, supplements, or extreme diets. These are small habits, backed by science, that can change the way your body handles food forever. And once you understand them, you will never look at your meals the same way again. Most people think blood sugar spikes only matter if you already have diabetes, but that is not true at all. Every time you eat, your blood sugar rises, and your body releases insulin to bring it back down. This is completely normal. But the problem starts when the spike goes too high and comes down too fast. When this happens again and again, your body starts storing more fat, your energy levels crash, your cravings increase, and over time your cells become less sensitive to insulin. This is how insulin resistance begins, and insulin resistance is one of the biggest hidden causes of weight gain, belly fat, fatigue, and type 2 diabetes. The scary part is that this can happen even in people who look healthy from the outside, because glucose spikes do not always show symptoms at first, but inside the body, they are slowly causing damage. Now here is something most people never hear. You can eat the same meal, the same amount of food, and still get completely different blood sugar results depending on what you do after eating. 2 people can eat the same plate of rice, bread, or sweets, but one will have a huge spike while the other stays stable, and the difference is often their habits after the meal. This is why learning what to do after eating is just as important as learning what to eat. The first thing you should do after eating is something very simple, but extremely powerful, and that is walking. Not running, not heavy exercise, just a calm, relaxed walk for a few minutes. When you walk after a meal, your muscles start using glucose from your blood as fuel. This means the sugar from your food goes into your muscles instead of staying in your bloodstream. And when less sugar stays in your blood, your body needs less insulin. Lower insulin means less fat storage, better energy, and more stable mood. Studies have shown that even a short walk after eating can significantly reduce blood sugar spikes, especially after meals that contain carbohydrates like rice, bread, pasta, or sweets. You do not need to walk for an hour to see benefits. Even 10 minutes can make a big difference. And the best part is that slow walking works too. Many people think they need intense workouts, but right after eating, your body actually prefers gentle movement. A relaxed walk helps digestion, improves circulation, and allows glucose to be used by the muscles at the perfect time, when blood sugar is rising. This is why in many traditional cultures, people naturally walk after meals, even without knowing the science behind it. Their habits protected them long before modern research explained why it works. Another mistake people make is lying down right after eating. When you lie down, your body becomes less active, digestion slows, and glucose stays in the blood longer. This leads to a higher spike and more insulin release. Sitting for long periods right after a meal can have a similar effect, especially if you sit completely still. Your muscles are not using glucose, so your body has no choice but to keep it in the bloodstream until insulin forces it into storage. This is one of the reasons people who sit a lot during the day often struggle with weight gain and blood sugar problems, even if they do not eat very large meals. The second thing you should do after eating is something most people never think about, and that is controlling the order of your food and finishing your meal in a way that slows down glucose absorption. The way you end your meal can change how fast sugar enters your blood. When you finish with something high in sugar or refined carbs, your blood sugar rises quickly. But when you end your meal with protein, fiber, or healthy fat, digestion slows down, and the glucose enters the blood more gradually. This means a smaller spike, less insulin, and more stable energy. For example, if you eat vegetables, protein, and carbs in one meal, the order matters more than people realize. Starting with fiber and protein and finishing with carbs often leads to a lower glucose spike compared to eating carbs first. This happens because fiber creates a barrier in the digestive system that slows the absorption of sugar, and protein signals the body to release hormones that help control blood sugar. Even something as simple as eating salad or vegetables before rice or bread can change the way your body reacts to the meal. Many people also like to eat something sweet right after finishing their meal, thinking that it does not matter because they already ate. But dessert right after a meal can push glucose even higher, especially if the meal already contained carbohydrates. This does not mean you can never eat sweets, but timing and amount make a big difference. When sugar enters the blood too fast, insulin rises quickly, and high insulin tells the body to store fat instead of burning it. This is why frequent spikes make it harder to lose weight, even if you are not eating huge portions. The third thing you should do after eating is to help your body become more sensitive to insulin. And one of the easiest ways to do this is through gentle muscle activation, or light movement, that signals your body to use glucose instead of storing it. This does not mean going to the gym after every meal, but small actions like standing, stretching, doing light household work, or even slow squats can help your muscles absorb glucose without needing as much insulin. Your muscles act like a sponge for sugar, but only when they are active. When they are inactive, insulin has to work harder to push glucose inside, and over time, this can lead to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance does not happen overnight. It develops slowly when the body is exposed to high insulin again and again. Every spike tells the body to store energy, and if this happens too often, the cells stop responding properly. When this happens, the body releases even more insulin to do the same job, and this cycle leads to weight gain, especially around the belly. Many people blame age or genetics, but in many cases the real cause is years of repeated glucose spikes and high insulin levels. Another important habit after eating is staying hydrated, but not in the way most people think. Drinking small amounts of water can help digestion, but drinking large sugary drinks after a meal can make glucose spikes worse. Many people drink soda, sweet tea, or juice with or after meals, not realizing that liquid sugar enters the bloodstream very fast. Because it does not need to be digested the same way solid food does, the glucose rise can be much sharper. This causes a strong insulin response, and frequent strong insulin responses make it harder for the body to stay sensitive to insulin. Even fruit juice can cause this effect if taken in large amounts, because the fiber that slows sugar absorption is mostly removed. Whole fruits usually cause a smaller spike than juice, because the fiber slows digestion. This is why small changes in daily habits can have a huge effect over time, even if the diet itself does not change much. Another thing that helps flatten glucose spikes is slowing down how fast you eat. When you eat too quickly, glucose enters the blood faster than the body can handle, and insulin has to rise sharply to control it. Eating slowly gives your body time to release the right hormones that signal fullness and help regulate blood sugar. Many people finish meals in just a few minutes, especially when they are busy, stressed, or distracted by screens. This makes spikes more likely, even if the food itself is not unhealthy. Stress also plays a role in blood sugar control. When you are stressed, your body releases hormones that raise glucose levels, because the body thinks you need extra energy to deal with danger. If you eat while stressed and then sit still, the body may keep glucose high for longer, leading to a bigger insulin response. This is why relaxing after meals, instead of rushing or worrying, can actually help your metabolism work better. Sleep is another factor people rarely connect with glucose spikes. Poor sleep makes the body more resistant to insulin, which means the same meal will cause a higher spike than usual. This is one reason people who do not sleep well often feel more hungry and crave sugary foods. The body is trying to get quick energy because it feels tired, but this leads to more spikes and more insulin, creating a cycle that is hard to break. The good news is that the 3 simple habits you learned today can make a huge difference without changing your entire lifestyle. Walking after meals helps muscles use glucose, ending meals the right way slows absorption, and gentle movement keeps insulin levels under control. These habits may sound small, but when done every day, they protect your metabolism, reduce fat storage, and keep your energy stable. Many people look for complicated diets or expensive supplements, but the truth is that the body already knows how to handle food correctly. It just needs the right signals at the right time. When you give your body movement after eating, when you slow down digestion, and when you avoid sudden sugar overload, you allow your natural system to stay balanced. Over time, this means fewer cravings, better weight control, and a lower risk of serious health problems. Think about how different your day would feel if you did not have that heavy, sleepy feeling after meals, if your energy stayed steady, and if you were not constantly craving snacks. This is what happens when glucose and insulin stay stable. Your body burns energy smoothly instead of storing it. your brain stays alert, and your metabolism works the way it was designed to work. Most people wait until they have high blood sugar or weight problems before they start caring about these things. But the best time to protect your health is before problems appear. Small habits done every day are more powerful than big changes done once in a while. You do not need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. From now on, every time you finish a meal, remember that what you do in the next few minutes can decide whether your body stores fat or burns energy, whether your glucose spikes or stays stable, and whether your metabolism becomes stronger or weaker over time. These 3 simple actions may look small, but they can completely change the way your body responds to food. And once you start using them, you will notice the difference in your energy, your weight, and your overall health without needing extreme diets or complicated rules. And another habit that many people don't realize is damaging their blood sugar control happens late at night, long after dinner, when the body is supposed to be slowing down, repairing itself, and preparing for sleep. But instead, it is forced to deal with another meal. The hidden effect of late-night eating on insulin spikes is much bigger than most people think, and it can affect weight gain, energy levels, hormone balance, and even how your body handles food the next day. Many people believe that calories are the only thing that matters, but timing matters just as much, and eating the same food at night can cause a much higher glucose and insulin spike compared to eating that food earlier in the day. Your body does not work the same way at night as it does in the morning. During the day, your metabolism is more active, your muscles are used more, and your body is better at handling glucose. But late at night, your body naturally becomes less sensitive to insulin. This means the same amount of sugar or carbohydrates will stay in your blood longer, forcing the body to release more insulin to control it. Higher insulin at night makes it easier for the body to store fat instead of burning energy. And when this happens regularly, it can slowly lead to weight gain even if you are not eating more than before. Many people notice that they eat the same foods as their friends or family, but still gain weight more easily. And one of the reasons can be the time they eat. Late-night eating keeps insulin high when it should be low. Normally, insulin levels should drop at night, so the body can switch into fat-burning mode while you sleep. But if you eat late, insulin stays elevated, and the body stays in storage mode instead of repair mode. This means less fat burning, slower metabolism, and more fat being stored around the belly. Another hidden problem with late-night eating is that it affects your natural body clock. Your body follows a daily rhythm that controls hormones, digestion, and energy use. When you eat very late, you send signals to the body that it is still daytime, even though it is night. This confuses the system and makes blood sugar harder to control. Studies have shown that people who eat late at night often have higher glucose levels after meals, even when the meal is small. The body simply does not handle food as well at that time. Sleep quality is also strongly connected to insulin and glucose control. When you eat late, your body is busy digesting instead of resting. Digestion requires energy, and this can make sleep lighter and less refreshing. Poor sleep makes the body more resistant to insulin the next day, which means the same breakfast can cause a bigger spike than usual. This creates a cycle where late eating leads to poor sleep leads to higher glucose spikes, and higher spikes lead to more hunger and cravings. Many people feel hungry late at night, not because their body needs food, but because their blood sugar went up and then dropped earlier. When glucose spikes high and then falls quickly, the brain sends signals that make you want to eat again, even if you already had enough calories. This is why late-night snacks are often sweet or high in carbs. The body is looking for quick energy, not because it needs it, but because the earlier spike was too strong. Another thing most people never think about is that insulin released at night stays in the body longer. During the day, movement helps lower blood sugar, but at night you are usually sitting, lying down, or going to sleep. Without movement, muscles do not use glucose as much, so insulin has to do more work to push sugar into storage. This means higher insulin for a longer time, and high insulin for long periods is one of the main reasons the body starts storing fat more easily. Late-night eating also affects hormones that control hunger. When you sleep at the right time without eating late, your body releases hormones that help you feel full the next day. But when you eat late and sleep poorly, the body releases more hunger hormones and less fullness hormones. This makes you feel hungrier the next day, even if you ate enough. Many people think they have no willpower, but sometimes the real problem is their schedule, not their discipline. People who stay up late often eat without noticing how much they are eating. Watching TV, using the phone, or working at night makes it easy to snack again and again. These small snacks may not look like much, but each one causes a new glucose rise and another insulin release. When this happens every night, the body never gets a long break from insulin, and without breaks, insulin resistance can slowly develop. Another hidden effect of eating late is that the body becomes less flexible in using energy. A healthy metabolism can switch between using sugar and using fat, depending on what the body needs. But when insulin stays high for too long, the body stays in sugar-burning mode and cannot switch to fat-burning easily. This makes it harder to lose weight, even if you eat less during the day. Many people notice that they feel more bloated or heavy in the morning after eating late at night. This happens because digestion slows down during sleep. Food stays longer in the stomach, and blood sugar stays elevated longer than usual. This can also cause acid reflux or discomfort, which further disturbs sleep and makes metabolism worse the next day. Another important detail is that the liver works differently at night. The liver helps control blood sugar by storing and releasing glucose when needed. But late-night eating forces the liver to process food when it should be resting. This can lead to higher blood sugar levels, more fat storage in the liver, and over time it can contribute to fatty liver problems, even in people who do not drink alcohol. Late-night eating also reduces the natural drop in insulin that should happen during sleep. When insulin drops, the body starts repairing cells, balancing hormones, and burning stored fat for energy. But when insulin stays high because of food, these processes slow down. This means the body does less repair and more storage, night after night. Many people think skipping breakfast is the reason their metabolism is slow, but often the real reason is eating too late the night before. When you eat late, the body may not be ready for food early in the morning, and blood sugar control becomes less stable. This can lead to feeling tired, craving sugar, or needing caffeine to feel normal. Another hidden problem is that late-night eating often includes foods that spike glucose quickly, like sweets, bread, chips, or sugary drinks. At night, people rarely choose vegetables or protein. These fast-digesting foods cause sharp spikes, and because the body is less sensitive to insulin at night, the spike becomes even higher than it would be during the day. Even if the amount of food is small, the timing can still cause problems. A small snack at midnight can cause a bigger insulin response than a larger meal in the afternoon. This is why some people gain weight, even when they feel like they are not eating much. The body reacts differently depending on the time. Late-night eating also affects stress hormones. When sleep is disturbed, the body releases more stress hormones the next day, and these hormones raise blood sugar levels. Higher blood sugar means more insulin, and more insulin means more fat storage. This cycle can continue without the person realizing that the real cause started with eating too late. People who want stable glucose and insulin should try to give their body a break from food before sleep. When you stop eating earlier, insulin has time to go down, and the body can switch into repair mode. This helps improve insulin sensitivity, which means the next meal will cause a smaller spike. Another benefit of avoiding late-night eating is better energy in the morning. When blood sugar stays stable overnight, the brain wakes up clearer, hunger hormones are balanced, and the body is ready to use energy instead of craving quick sugar. Many people are surprised how much their appetite changes just by adjusting the time of their last meal. Late-night eating can also make it harder for the body to control portion size. When you are tired, the brain looks for fast energy, and this makes high-sugar foods more appealing. This is not a lack of willpower, it is a biological response to fatigue and unstable glucose levels. One more hidden effect is that frequent insulin spikes at night train the body to expect food at that time. The body starts releasing hunger signals automatically, even if you do not need food. But when you stop eating late, these signals slowly become weaker, and the body adjusts to the new routine. Another reason late-night eating causes stronger spikes is that physical activity is lower. During the day, walking, standing, and moving help muscles use glucose, but at night there is very little movement. Without movement, sugar stays in the blood longer, and insulin must stay high to control it. Over time, repeated late-night spikes can make the body less responsive to insulin. When this happens, the pancreas produces even more insulin to keep blood sugar normal. High insulin over long periods makes it easier to gain weight and harder to lose it, even with dieting. People often focus only on what they eat, but when they eat can change everything. The same meal can be handled easily during the day, but cause problems at night. Understanding this helps you work with your body instead of against it. When you give your body enough time without food before sleep, insulin can fall, fat burning can increase, and the body can repair itself properly. This makes the next day's meals easier to control, energy more stable, and cravings less intense. The hidden effect of late-night eating is not just about one snack or one meal, but about what happens when this habit repeats every day. Each night of high insulin makes the body a little less sensitive, and each day of poor sleep makes glucose harder to control. And over time, these small changes can turn into bigger health problems without the person realizing where they started. When you understand how strongly timing affects insulin, you start to see why small habits after dinner can make such a big difference in long-term health, weight control, and steady energy throughout the day, and why avoiding late meals is one of the simplest ways to keep glucose spikes lower without changing everything you eat. Because the body works best when food comes at the right time, and rest comes when insulin is low, and the system is allowed to reset naturally night after night, while the metabolism stays balanced and steady, without being forced to handle sugar when it should be recovering.